Okay, so yesterday I wrote, I don't have kin. And this might be offensive to my actual birth family, my relations. And that's not what I meant at all. It's kind of paradoxical, right? Because the more we almost leave our own tribe, the more affinity we feel for the greater whole and all people, and even our own kin, we feel a deeper love for them. So there's a lot I could say on this, and I'm going to try to keep it short, but having two tribal lines has nothing to do with how I love my own family. It's more about the role I have to play in the school play of life. And I think it's also not a rugged individualism that says, I'm going to go it on my own. I'm going to, be able to survive independently, because no, I would die without a tribe. So I'm not talking about rugged individualism here. We're talking about sacred individualism, which is being able to be on your own, being able to be in your own body and your own self, but also acknowledging that you do need others and to be interdependent. So the Gate 54 of the Marrying Maiden is about actually the maiden who leaves her tribe and joins a new tribe. And then, she's made it in the world. So in our modern sense, that's like a new job or a new relationship or a new city. But pre-modern China was where the bride actually is walked from her parents' house to the groom's house. They have a great party for 3 days. It's really ecstatic. And she stays there. She doesn't go back home. So it's a mythical celebration to the mundane life. She's still in a tribe. The rules haven't changed. And she essentially has the same obligations to the family. So this is why the Gate 54 is kind of the mystical to the mundane. We think we've made it in life. We think we've had some great mystical experience. We've achieved success. And then we have to kind of go back to, well, I'm sort of just still the same person in a different place, a different tribe. The other thing I want to say is that the tribal circuitry, and especially in the human design system, it's not about people really living in tribes. Actually, we're talking about Western people. This is medicine really for Western people who we don't really see tribalism in our day-to-day life. It's been pushed down beneath the surface and into the unconscious for the most part, and is manifested in the form of nation states. So to look at Europe, for example, you might have the Celts and the Gauls, but now they're the British and the French. But even within Britain and France, there's many, many more tribes, but we don't talk about them, right? We've pushed it all down below the surface. The United States, another great example. We have a right wing and a left wing. We have two political parties that relate on tribal terms, but we're not calling it that. So we're moving into an era of humanity where we're so interconnected, and when we're looking at the level of tribalism that at some point might have really protected cultural values, for example, like in France, the French language, it might actually diminish value in the sense of asking, who are we and where are we going as a humanity, as a collective, not just as a tribe. Okay, so the example that I want to give is in France, when they were playing the World Cup match against England, they kept chanting, those who don't speak French aren't French. Well, seems pretty obvious, right? So they're saying that to the English, yet you're watching it and the whole team is made up of West Africans. Mbappe is Cameroonian, so they're, maybe grew up in France, maybe their parents don't speak French, their mothers probably don't speak French as a native language. The woman who's cleaning up the beer bottles and the pizza trays after the game, who's working in the kitchen, she probably didn't grow up speaking French. There's all these kind of ethnocentric values that really don't apply to the situation or the scene. at the moment. So where that claim to the tribe's value might have worked for some time to kind of preserve the cultural identity, is really not aligned with the way humanity is going, which is that we're becoming more and more deeply interdependent, and we're really needing a new set of values and a new story that aligns to this set of values, that transcends and includes this tribalism, and actually starts to see the interrelatedness of all things through collectivism, which can only mutate through the voice of the sacred individual. So to summarize, the question of do I have kin or not is not so much a sense of rejection of anyone that I'm biologically related to, as much as it is an affirmation of the truth that there's more kin to come. There's more of an invitation to evolve our sense of who is kin and ask ourselves, who are my relations? And from there, we can expand our sense of identity into a part of the greater whole. So it's not just me saying this. This is teachers and contemporary philosophers and mystics of our era who are noticing that the evolution of human is moving towards something that has nothing to do with the filters or the glamour of appearance in enhancing what we are, as much as it is in enhancing what we are in the interiors of ourselves to create a more beautiful and true exterior in the world around us. So that's the invitation, and I'm available for questions.